Sponsors?
Since
What
when?
are you talking about? We don't have any sponsors. We're
Who wants to
live.
give us money to do anything?
We're sponsored by NASA.
No,
Yeah,
like
we
a
are.
legit
No,
question.
don't say that.
No, we can't say that. NASA
can't
does
say
not
that.
sponsor us. It was just a cool sticker.
It really was just a cool,
Yeah, cool
sticker.
sticker.
It is.
You will be sued now.
We are also not sponsored by Han Solo.
No, never sponsored by Han Solo. Ever.
He tried,
Well,
but we didn't want his funny money.
Yeah, we need to cover that. We need to find a way to cover that out. Absolutely. What's up, guys? Second half here of the Brick City Blockade Holiday Special here live from Krypton Comics and Pop Culture here in downtown Exeter. Everybody's in the store getting their goods for the holiday season. I picked up some stuff for Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
You never watch these, but hi.
Hey.
She doesn't. Mine doesn't.
Oh, they're talking
She
about
doesn't
mine.
like Star Wars. Your
Don't talk
mom?
about
No, your
mine.
mom's great.
I thought we were talking about all of
great
mine.
too.
My
All of
mom's
them.
great too, but whatever.
All moms are great. All moms.
Eh.
That's just how it is. James, I'm gonna sponsors.
We're shutting down.
Shutting down the stream right now. No, but how's it going, everybody? Back here, Krypton Comics. We're super excited. Sean, the hot cocoa. I mean, we ended up kind of busting into it. Anybody in the store, there's free hot cocoa in the back if you're willing to come and try some. Bought it for our live podcast, so come and grab some hot cocoa while it's hot.
It's standing.
Standing while it's standing.
Hot standing.
Outstanding.
Hot.
Listen, one of the other things I just wanted to kind of touch upon, I know we kind of teased it before the complete destruction of the
Empire.
the Empire and the last video that happened, suddenly cutting out and everything. James, that will be up on social media very soon for everybody to
I hope
enjoy.
that becomes a meme.
Yeah, it has to be. I'm an internet meme. Look at me, I'm a meme and nobody's seen my face. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. You haven't heard about this? We're bigger than Jesus. Wow. That's a true statement.
True statement.
It is a true statement.
I believe it was John Lennon that said that.
It was John Lennon that did say that. You're right.
Unless it was Paul McCartney, and I'm completely wrong, but one of them said it.
Live and let die.
Lucy in the
Yeah, you think? No.
James is going to say something that he decided.
He
not
is
to.
dead.
What, Paul McCartney?
Not Paul McCartney, John Lennon, and George Harrison.
Yeah.
It's only half a beetle now.
Yeah, they got the carapace left. It's Ringo and Paul McCartney.
It's lost its legs and its antennae. Oh my goodness. But back into some of the Star Wars conversation here. You know what I'd like to do? Can we take out that trivia thing? And I want to give this a shot live here from the holiday special. See what is going on.
Aaron knows how to work
this. Yeah. What is?
There you go.
Oh, here we go.
It's working.
Okay, we're on.
Oh.
Do you know how to play it?
We're
We're
trying
gonna
to
look at
figure
this
out-
real quick.
How do we play?
Yes.
Battery installation and assembly. That's done.
No, we already got the battery.
How to operate your Quiz Whiz game.
Listen up, guys.
Listen up, guys. Listen up. Listen up.
Select one of the Star Wars Quiz Whiz trilogy question books. Attach the unit and insert the answer cartridge. Is there an answer cartridge? Do we have an answer cartridge?
Yes, it's in there already.
It's in there already.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
gonna
So-
be.
Check.
Check.
Where's
check
the
that
answer
off the list.
cartridge?
It's right here.
Yeah,
That
right there.
I thought that was a battery cover.
No, that's the answer cartridge.
Oh, that's the battery cover right there. Right on.
Beautiful.
Note, your Star Wars trilogy game can be used with any of the additional cartridges that fit the original Quiz Whiz game. Cool.
Oh, nice.
Push start/next. You will hear an electronic sound and the yes light will flash once to indicate that the unit is on.
Here we go, folks.
Moment truth.
Enter the number of the question you want to answer using the number keys. If you make a mistake, press clear and start again. Question number 1.
Now ask the question.
Okay. Who starts first?
Who is a member of the Imperial Senate? A. Obi-Wan. B. Vader. C. Luke. Or D. Leia.
The Imperial Senate? That'd be Leia.
Yeah.
Your answer is D.
It's Leia.
I think we did this wrong.
No, you didn't.
No. Is it Vader?
Is it Obi-Wan?
No, Leia was a member of the Imperial Senate.
Yes, of course.
No, why say no?
Let me see.
We're on a diplomatic mission.
Aaron,
This is a
Aaron
diplomatic
was
mission.
trying to figure it out.
Where are the ambassadors?
Ask the question again.
We're going to try another one.
Yeah, let's try this. I'll let Aaron read it.
All right. What happens to the transport in which R2-D2 and C-3PO were held before being sold to Luke's uncle? A. The Jawas abandoned it. B, the captive droids destroy it. C, sand people destroy it. Or D, stormtroopers destroy
Since
it.
those blast points were far too accurate for Tusken Raiders.
Tusken Raiders. It's stormtroopers.
Sand people always ride single file to hide their numbers.
What?
It's wrong because Leia was a member of the Imperial Cell.
Hold on.
Right.
Yeah.
It was B,
Which
What?
one?
Right.
according to this.
Well, I don't think that it's on the correct.
Okay, let's try.
See, it might be a.
There you
Is
go.
it a
Got
different?
it.
Is
Yeah,
it a
yeah,
different
yeah.
one?
No, I got it.
Which cartridge is on there?
All of them.
Which cartridge, folks? Which cartridge?
What color is Luke's lightsaber? A, green.
Yellow.
B, blue. C, red. Or D, yellow.
It's the first one, so it's blue.
Luke's
So
lightsaber.
B.
Hey!
It was before it came. It was blue before green.
Yes, blue before green. Except after C.
How does Obi-Wan know that the Jawa transport was not destroyed by sand people?
Because those blast
Hey.
points are far too accurate.
There were tracks left by the sand people. B, the tracks were not single file. C, there were no bantha tracks. Or D, there were stormtrooper blasters left.
Stormtrooper. Oh no,
B.
that's Blaster
Sand
Left.
people ride single file to
File.
hide their
Yes,
numbers.
single
So
file.
B.
B.
Hey, James. Oh, top buddy.
Teamwork.
Nice. Teamwork.
When
Basic
is
trivia.
the first time that Luke hears Obi-Wan's voice after Obi-Wan is killed by Vader? A, when Luke first gets his fighter to attack the Death Star. B, when Luke is attacking the Death Star. C, as the crew of the Millennium Falcon is trying to escape the Death Star. Or D, when Luke is being chased by Vader.
When
B
Luke
again?
is being chased by Vader because it's trust your feelings, Luke.
Yes.
Use the
So
Force.
D
Luke.
is the final answer?
I would
The
imagine.
answer is always D.
Is it wrong?
Mhm.
Is it B? No.
It's got to be when he's forming up.
Is it when he's being attacked by the Death Star?
Oh.
No.
Because he hears it first in the X-wing on the way to the Death Star.
To the Death
To
Star.
to this.
Yes.
Red 5 standing by.
So A.
Red 4 standing by.
Simply Red standing by. Red 5 standing by.
Is that wrong too?
We're gonna try a different question.
Oh,
Wow.
none of the questions were right then.
What happens to Leia while she is held by the Empire? A, she is beaten. B,
Oh, wow.
she is executed.
Oh, wow.
C, she is allowed to make a phone call. D, she is interrogated.
Interrogated. Huh. She's beaten. Oh,
That
no.
started at an escalation.
Really
Right,
did.
that just like escalated. That didn't even have to
Okay,
escalate. That like
what-
de-escalated.
What is this?
What year
What happened
did
to-
Star Wars first appear in theaters?
Oh,
A,
1977.
1975, B, 1980, C, 1997, D, 1977.
19.
77.
I would hope so.
It works, kind of.
Mhm.
Kind of.
Let's find another fun one. Oh, here we go.
So
Yeah,
here's
no,
a
no
question
beating
for you.
in interrogation rooms.
No beating in
Did Vader ever read Leia her Miranda rights?
Do they have Miranda rights on the Death Star?
You have the right to remain silent.
But you may not exercise it.
You have the right
I will
to
let the
remain
probe
silent.
droid execute those rights.
Everything you say can and will be disregarded, and your home will be destroyed.
That's essentially what Tarkin did.
Right.
That's essentially what
That's
Tarkin did. Yeah, that's a good point.
Dantooine is far too remote.
Far too remote.
Do you have an alternate target, a military target?
Wow.
You
Peter Cushing.
scum. Peter Cushing. Oh, rest in peace.
Oh, Peter Cushing, man. Aaron's trying to find a good one that's not.
That is
I think he's
still
trying to figure out how it works.
that is my favorite Star Wars villain. Not
Yeah, I have a
Vader,
good one.
not Palpatine, not Jabba the Hutt, Tarkin.
Yeah, you got to give the main
Tarkin.
credit. All the classic horror movies that Peter Cushing was in, and then he takes in the role of Tarkin.
And then he
All
fires the
horror
Death
movies that
Star
Tarkin was in.
Krennic.
at Scarif, knowing Krennic's down there.
Do you notice the aim of it too?
It's like,
right on the
I'm
top
not
of that
going-
tower,
I'm
right
not
where he
going
is.
to give you any of the credit.
Yeah.
That was a military target.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
What happens to Gold Leader during the fight against the Death Star?
Mm-hmm.
A, he gets shot down by Vader. B, he gets shot down by a stormtrooper and a TIE fighter. C, he crashes into the surface of the Death Star. Or D, he gets shot down by the Death Star's lasers.
Wow.
Vader gets him.
I don't think Vader gets him. No,
Vader got him. None of the Y-wings crashed. Vader got him because that was the first bombers going down.
Yes, correct.
And Vader comes in behind. Hey.
All right, we're going with that.
It was a miss. It was a miss.
You were correct, sir.
You're correct.
It didn't go in.
I have you now.
I have you now.
You have me now.
Wow. That was wow. Wow.
Han Solo. Han Solo. Han Solo. Han Solo.
Solo.
Oh, my.
What do moisture vaporators do?
Vaporators? Vaporators.
They condense water out of the atmosphere.
Yeah,
Keep
correct.
crops from getting too much water, spread water out across a large area of land, turn liquid onto the ground into moisture in the atmosphere, retrieve and store moisture from the atmosphere.
D.
D.
What's evaporation?
Evaporation versus evaporation.
Big difference.
Vaporation, dang it.
It's okay. I understand. New
Vape
Jersey
Nation?
accent makes you say some weird stuff.
Is this Vape Nation now?
Yes, it's Vape Nation now.
What?
How do Leia, Luke, Han, and Chewie attempt to stop the trash compactor from crushing them? A. Luke tries to use the Force. B. They try to get Obi-Wan to help.
Uh-huh.
C. They try to shut off the trash compactor using its electronic controls. D. They try to wedge a pole between the enclosing walls.
E, they have a couch.
C-3PO!
They have a couch.
C-3PO!
We gotta
Help
get
me,
the couch.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Wait, when did an Ewoks call that?
I didn't speak Wookiees. I still say crack.com's why Ewoks are the most terrifying thing in Star Wars.
It's
changed my
fantastic.
perspective.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's playing that for. I can't believe that Jim had never seen that. So
Yeah, that's
playing that at his
crazy.
house on the big screen, that was hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
I love
I
it.
remember that.
Got another one there, Aaron.
Looking.
Okay.
Best line from that is, "Don't try to out Star Wars me. I
I
got
wanna
up
see what
earlier
we
than
got
you
up on
did."
the other ones.
Sounds like Jim.
Episode.
Which one do you want to do? 5 or 6?
Which one, guys?
Empire, dude.
Empire.
Gotta be Empire.
Empire Strikes Back. Yep.
Why'd you give him Jedi? You gave her Jedi, not Empire.
She grabbed the wrong one.
No, you handed her the wrong one.
Come on, Sean.
I said handed you both at the same time, and you grabbed them.
Stop making excuses.
We were just talking
No.
about that, so I'm not going to give you that one.
Kiss a Wookiee, kick a droid, fly a falcon into an asteroid till the princess is annoyed. It's a spaceship.
What does Luke find out about his destination as he approaches the Dagobah system? A. It has lots of technology. B. It has lots of life forms. C. It has lots of cities. D. It shows no sign of life.
Well, there's something alive down there.
Yeah. Lots of life forms.
So B.
Yes.
Correct.
Woo!
Woohoo!
You must go to the Dagobah system.
Go to the Dagobah system.
There you
I
will
gotta
learn
get
from
one
the
that's
Jedi
gonna
Master
trip
who
you guys
instructed
up.
me.
Trip you up?
Yeah, I want to trip you up. I know it's not going to happen because you're all like...
I don't know about that.
We have a moment.
I've actually flipped open to a couple of these things that I didn't know.
What does Yoda say? Does not make
What
one
does the
great.
Yoda say?
A. Courage. B. Battles. C. Wars. D. Hardship.
Wars.
Wars.
Wars not make one great.
After arriving at
Run, jump, run. I can be a backpack while you run.
Yes. Seagulls, yes.
It's run, jump. I can be a backpack all you want.
Still funny.
After arriving
then
on
the
Yoda's
seagull.
planet, what does Luke say to R2?
Say it again.
After arriving on Yoda's planet, what does Luke say to R2-D2 when the droid is spit out of a swamp? You're lucky you don't taste very good. You're lucky it didn't like you. You're lucky you didn't get hurt. I guess you don't taste very good.
You don't taste good.
I think it's I think you're lucky you don't taste good.
I honestly don't know the answer to this one.
Are we going to go with A?
I'll go with that.
You
Yeah.
are correct.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody who's watching right now is watching us do Star Wars trivia.
I think that we should actually stop doing Star Wars trivia
Mm-hmm.
and save this Star Wars trivia for another time.
I agree. Let's talk a little bit about Star Wars. Where we left off the last time. Yeah, agreed. Star Wars is
Go back,
well, you know what?
back to episode 9, kind of.
Yeah, I like the episode. Shut up. Now you're just irking me. Yes, throw the vintage. You break it, you buy it. I'm not letting you money.
Sean doesn't complain about that.
Whatever.
No, I think our conversation where we left it off last was the whole concept of where could we see Poe Dameron and Rey in Episode 9 team up to create like
we left off with
essentially-
Han Solo.
Yeah,
the Solo movie.
right, and then how the Solo film shows us essentially like between Lando and Han the amount of power that those two carry in that film, and then transitioning into Episode 9, where could we see Lando? That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
With the character of Lando in Episode 9, because we made the comment about how he's pumping iron
And at the
a lot
time,
of that
I had not really a theory, but with the Solo movie with Kira, and it would be cool to see her in Episode 9 as
Kira
a Knights of Ren.
Kira as a Knights of Ren.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Wow. Huh.
I
It's an
think
interesting theory, though.
I would love to see that. That'd be cool. But if Kira's going to come back, I think it's going to be kind of as a Mara Jade type character,
Okay.
where she's kind of on her own.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, it would be hard to do her in Episode 9.
I wouldn't find it hard to do Kira.
Anyways. You're thinking?
I just don't know. Okay. No, I think what James means by that is that in the big concept of where we could see the Knights of Ren go. You notice how I quickly changed it so big. The Knights of Ren are probably one of the most fascinating factors heading into Episode 9 because they've been teased at so much between The Force Awakens.
We know
and The Last
nothing
Jedi.
about them.
We know nothing other than that Supreme Leader Snow kept saying, Kylo Ren, Master of the Knights of Ren. This whole concept that Kylo Ren actually had rule over other people other than the First Order,
And
like his own order.
We get 2 movies. Speaking of that movie, we don't know anything about them.
And I think Episode 9 is a great place to really bring them to the forefront of what Ren wants to accomplish. Though.
I mean, we get that one single shot with
On the flat with
the
Rey when she
flashback,
touches
yeah.
the lightsaber.
and that's so.
I don't think that we're going to see much of the Knights of Ren in
Okay.
Episode 9.
Okay.
I think we're going to finally see them. I think we're going to finally be introduced to them. I think we're going to finally see them do something like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're set up to not just have the Knights, the First Order as the main bad guys anymore. It's going to be the Knights of Ren, who are like the main force of evil. So instead of having one big bad guy, you have like this big bad like group of dark Jedi now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's what I think they're going to do with it, and what I hope they do with it. But I would like to see more of that and find out who the hell they are.
Yeah.
Right. Because if Kylo Ren has the Knights of Ren by his side, and if they wouldn't be worth the conversation unless JJ brought them up in The Force Awakens. They've been teased at in different places, and I'm talking about the book Empire's End. If anybody's had the chance to read that from Chuck Wendig, they speak of the acolytes of the Beyond, which I think ended up transitioning into what Yupe Tashu was teaching to them. Of course, the right hand of Emperor Palpatine himself, teaching them the ways, not necessarily of the Force, but how to understand the dark side, with that power, how to harness that energy that it has on the galaxy. I think that Kylo Ren probably took on some of those acolytes from Yupe Tashu's school, from the acolytes of the Beyond, and was able to take them to the next level and say, guess what? I'm going to take you into my teachings, and you are going to come with me to destroy Luke's academy. That was the big piece after the turn of Ben Solo. And whatever they do with Episode 9, I mean, if you are going to bring the Knights of Ren to the forefront, they're going to have to be with Kylo Ren, and they're probably going to have to face off against Rey and some other main characters. If you're going to do it right. Put them in there in a scene that really captures it. And a lot of talk that Episode 9 is going to really kick off with a time gap of anywhere from 3 to 4 years later. And we see something really drastic happen to kick off.
I'd like to see a bigger time gap.
Yeah, like
Frankly,
6-8 years?
Yeah, like something like 6-8 years in between.
Mm-hmm.
Because in 3 to 4 years, yeah, some stuff in the galaxy can change, but I want to see like I've said before, all the hope that the Resistance has just be completely quashed.
Yeah.
And bring us to that point of a new hope, a no hope. We got nothing.
Yeah, true.
You know, we're screwed. We're 10 people flying around the Millennium Falcon, which is a very, very easily recognizable ship. So I also predict in episode 9 we're going to see the final death of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, I think you almost have to at that point. I think Solo, like we were talking about before.
YT-1400's a doggone stinking artifact at this point. Like it's an ancient ship.
It is.
It's been around since, you know, pre-Clone Wars. And
to last this long.
Right, for one single YT-1400, which is no longer even used in the trade circuit outside of cargo hauling inside spaceports, which is what those two mandibles on the front are for, as cargo containers. Outside of that, it's not really seen anymore, except for the Millennium Falcon. So anybody who sees the Falcon is instantly going to know that right there's the Falcon.
Yeah.
And I think they're either going to finally catch up with it, even though it's the quoted fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. They're finally going to catch up to it. It's finally going to get in a situation it can't get out of.
Yeah.
Or they're going to realize that it's far too recognizable of a ship, and they're going to have to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Which sets us up for what you were talking about, Lando going in and being like, L3, and that's like the final goodbye, you know?
Yeah, seriously.
And just have Lando spend the years with it.
Which I could see Kevin Smith getting choked up about, so I'm really hoping
that could be, and yeah, you're right. Like we said before, that could be the main part of it, is that if the Falcon goes out, it's with Lando.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, obviously Han fairly won it back, but I could totally see Lando making a comment about that before it goes.
But it is rightfully Lando's.
I mean, could Lando die inside of the Falcon? Like, could that be?
I do not want to see
another main character death.
I don't want to see Lando die of anything other than old age.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That would probably break my heart.
Yeah.
I've already got, you know, Han Solo got killed in Force Awakens, which hit me right in the feels, and then Carrie Fisher died in real life, which hit me right in the feels a lot. And then seeing Lando die of anything other than old age probably make me cry in the middle of the theater.
Yeah. So they have to really play that carefully, probably, in terms of how they want to handle, like you said, the destruction of the Falcon in whatever terms it is. What do they do with Chewbacca going forward, too? I mean, he's such a main marketing and selling point for Star Wars. I don't know.
Go back to him as his own.
Well, Chewbacca is...
Going back to Kashyyyk? I mean, that would be cool.
At this point, fairly elderly for
Wookiee,
too.
He is.
He was like, what? How old during Solo?
Over 100 years.
120, something 120,
like that. Yeah.
And then he's 150, 140, 150 years old by the time, you know...
No, Force Awakens.
It's Force Awakens right there. But Force Awakens is 100... Well, no, I mean, 140, 150 years old by the time of...
the original?
The original trilogy.
Oh, right, yeah.
So you're talking over...
And we're talking, he's getting close to 200 years old, and lifespan of a Wookiee's between 200, 250 years. So despite running around the galaxy and keeping himself in awesome shape, Chewie's getting up there.
Yeah.
So either they're going to have to put him down like a family dog, or...
oh, no.
Sorry.
No.
or Chewbacca's finally he's gonna finally have to call it quits, because...
Yeah.
I mean, are you familiar with how Chewbacca originally dies?
Mm-hmm.
In the Legends?
Oh, I talk with Scottish about this all the time.
And he literally has a moon dropped on him, and that's the only thing that kills Chewbacca. And the original Ben Solo, right? That's new space station. That's a moon. And that's also when the original Ben Solo dies.
Yeah.
Sacrificing himself so that the refugees can get off the planet. And having Chewbacca go out in any less spectacular fashion than dropping a goddamn planet on it is just an affront to Chewbacca, the entire Wookiee race, and Kashyyyk. So I hope they do make his final scene appropriately epic.
Yeah, I think they have to. I think with all these characters,
I hope they
R2 lives forever.
Right.
I hope they kind of like Borderlands it. Well, he does, and actually, I'm going to get onto this in a second because I love this one. But they Borderlands the heck out of it with Star Wars, and I love it. Where you have Borderlands 1, you got the 4 characters that you play as, And then Borderlands 2, you come back, and some of the NPCs in the game are those original characters that you played with, and they slowly get killed off one by one.
Yeah.
Because you have to open up to the new generation of characters, you have to open up to the new universe, but you can't just like rip the band-aid off with this, because these are beloved characters that you love and that people have connections to.
Right.
So you have to make those characters' endings appropriately feels-y for the old fans.
Right.
Spirit the
Which
horse.
I think they did a
Is
very
that-
good job with Han Solo. I'm interested to see what they do with Leia, and I'm really interested to see what they do with Leia, with Lando and Chewie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, R2 does live forever, because if you watch Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Last Crusade, there are numerous references. It's a Club Obi-Wan, and there's a hieroglyphic picture of an ancient Egyptian meeting R2 and 3PO, and 3PO's got his hand on top of R2, and the little Egyptian's down the front like, ooh. And it's
I love it.
I firmly believe at some point that either because it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, that might be all relative, and R2 and 3PO end up getting encased somewhere on some planet that eventually becomes Earth. Like maybe Mustafar becomes Earth. Primordial Earth with the lava and shit.
Yeah.
Pardon the language. And then maybe they just end up going through some kind of dimensional portal, because we've seen that's a thing that happens in Star Wars with the three embodiments of the Force: the father, the brother, and the sister.
Oh, I know.
But having that, R2 and 3PO are transported somehow to ancient Egyptian Earth, which would, lead to everybody on Earth, having this concept of Egyptian aliens and all that fun stuff, which is a big conspiracy theory, and also lend credence to the fact that maybe the Lucasverse is one big universe.
Really good.
Nagasaki.
What?
There was a species of race that people Nagasaki.
Oh, Nagasaki is one of those cities we bombed in Japan.
Oh no, it was, I'm thinking of something else.
The Nagai?
Yes, thank you.
Or the Nogri?
I think it's one of those.
The one where Vader put the plague of little robots that, like, he poisoned their planet first, and they had these robots that cleared the poison and essentially pooped out topsoil. And he purposely designed them to be so slow that the Nogri race would be forced to be enslaved to him and the Emperor as their assassins and warriors. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Nogri.
I was trying to think of that.
James gives the full rundown. He's like, yep, got
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Gotta
mean,
get specific.
You do have to get specific with that.
And you got Nogri, you got the Nagai, you got the Nemoidians, you got Nutella.
I love that. You got Nutella.
All great on toast.
Yeah, that's true. All great on toast.
Hey, looky here. Our special of the day is no brie on toast. You can spread it thin if you want. They're kind of stringy.
Oh, man. Oh, I think we're going to close out our holiday special.
Wow, that
here
was,
at Krypton
That
Comics.
guy's really good.
Yeah. As anything we do here at the BrickCityBlockade.com podcast network, live here from Krypton Comics and Pop Culture here in Exeter, New Hampshire. As
Courtesy of Joe Galvin.
yes, Mr. Joe
Give us a
Galvin
wave.
back there. Everybody love Mr. Joe back here doing his awesome stuff here at Krypton Comics. Please make sure to come down for the holiday season. Pick up all these amazing collectibles, especially the Star Wars section. I mean,
Sunlight's coming right through.
Coming right
Look
onto your
on
eyes.
the screen right there.
Right on you. He's an angel. He's glowing.
That is the first time I've ever been accused of that.
I've been accused.
We finally got hope.
A new hope.
Aaron with the. Oh man!
She willingly chose this.
Anything that we do here at the podcast network, it's a little thing we like to call
Plug time.
plug time.
Plug those lights in.
Plug those lights in. Ting, 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 ting.
And I keep my Christmas lights up on my front porch all year. Am I a redneck woman? I know high class broad.
James Brown, where can good people find you on social
You
media?
can find me on Twitter at I'm Not Really Him 9. As I say often, my Twitter is really, really boring, but I'll follow you back because I really don't do much on there. Same thing with Instagram. It's voiceover acting 1212. You can go, you can find me, you can follow me, I'll follow you back. But that's really about all you're going to get out of it, aside from some occasional belligerent pictures. My Facebook is fairly interesting. I have a lot of weird stuff on there, so go ahead, find me on there. I'm part of the Brick City Blockade Podcast Network. You can find me on that page. Right, yep.
No, no.
And with that, take you over to this guy right here.
Hey, Sean Misha, where can good people find you on social media?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at ShamanShow1. Follow me on my Instagram at ItZoneZ. Follow me music at Bandcamp. Bandcamp. And SoundCloud. And follow me and friend me on Facebook.
Twitter at Mr. Vote Tweets. Brick City Blockade on there at Brick City SWPC. www.brickcityblockade.com for everything happening in that galaxy far, far away this holiday season. Patreon to support the network. TeePublic, pick up your holiday swag over there for the holiday season. $14 t-shirts just around the corner. So please make sure to get your order in before it's too late. And also, Galaxy of Joy program between Brick City Blockade and Starlight Children's Foundation. Wonderful, wonderful. Please go over there, donate. James, you did a wonderful job on your birthday there. Broke your $200.
I'm actually impressed about how much actually ended up going there. I didn't check the final number, but it was up around $250, $260, which the typical Facebook limit is $200, and I broke that within like the first week. That's still going to be up and going. I turn 29 next Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, because I'm old. And
happy birthday.
Yeah, you're older. Thank you. Happy birthday from all of us to you. Bullshit. Applebee's stuff. But if you guys are still interested in donating, if you happen to be friends with me on Facebook or friends of the network on Facebook, and it has been shared out, you can go ahead and make a donation right through there. I have it's going to be open until December 30th, so I'd really like to see how much we can actually get going on that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I saw Starlight even posted a little thing. Thank you so much, James, for your continual support. I got a nice message from Starlight saying, hey, I see James Brown, part of Brick City Blockade, doing some more fundraising.
That's what we do.
It's what we do, guys. It's what we do. And as we always say here at the BrickCityBlockade.com podcast network, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, all of the
Happy
above.
New Year.
What?
We'll see you guys soon.
Gotcha.
And may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
God,